When two kids find and play a magical board game, they release a man trapped in it for decades, and a host of dangers that can only be stopped by finishing the game. Hello everyone, welcome to another review, and it's on the movie Jumanji, which came out in 1995, has 4 wins, and was nominated 11 other times. The top actors that played in this are Robin Williams, Jonathan Hyde, Kirsten Dunst, Bradley Pills, Bonnie Hunt, Bebe Neuwirth, David Alan Grill, Patricia Clarkson, Adam Hanbuild, Laura Bell Bundy, James Handy, Gillian Barber, Brandon Obrey, Cyrus Sidecki, and Gary Joseph Thorpe. So, well, my thoughts on this movie. Well, first of all, it's Robin Williams. Even in his crappy movies, he was always awesome. He was never the problem with any of his movies. Never. He was always awesome. And he hasn't really done all that many crappy movies. Most of his movies are pretty amazing because of him. Because of how he portrays the role of the character that he plays. Yeah. So I have no problems with him. The rest of the cast, some of them were good or very good. I know Kirsten Dunst. She did her role actually very good. She was very good. Remembering which one she played. Yep. And I remember back in 2000, in the early 2000s, I should say. I remember I talked to my brother and my parents, and I'm like, yeah, Kirsten Dunst was in Jumanji, and they're like, no, she wasn't. Like, yeah, she was. And my brother wound up checking it out, and he was like, oh my god, you're right. It's like, yeah, I know my stuff. I know my stuff for the most part. But yeah, no, they were shocked that she was in this. Kirsten Dunst was also in the first 3 Spider-Man movies. Yep. That's what led this discussion, because we were talking about her role in Spider-Man, and then mentioning this. Yeah. Anyhow, but yeah, overall the acting for the most part was either good or very good and amazing. Robin Williams was amazing, hands down. He was the best one there. Not to say that the other actors didn't do an amazing job. Like I said, some of them did very good, other ones did good. Not really. Acting wasn't really crappy in this movie. It wasn't. It was better than that. Much better than that, actually. Storyline wise, at the time, this story was something new and fresh, which was awesome. So they decided to make a movie out of a magical board game that releases all of this mayhem and chaos, not mentioning anything of exactly what happens, just mayhem and chaos. And oh my god, yeah. It was something else. But then, the graphics. Oh yeah, I meant to say, yeah, the story was something new, something fresh, and to me personally, the storyline, it was good. It had a good storyline, but it was written very well. And even with the crappiest of storylines, if it's written very well, oh my god, the storyline can be somewhat decent, even better than decent. But yeah, no, this one, to me personally, it was a good storyline, a good plot, but it was written very, very well. The dialogue scenes, for the most part, the dialogue was awesome. There were some lines in this movie that's considered as, nowadays is considered as classic dialogue. Not much, but there are a few. So I've covered the acting, the story, the graphics. Graphics was awesome for its time. Awesome. I also know that at one point in time in this movie, most movies, almost all movies, didn't do this anymore by this year, 1995. Most of it, because this certain thing that they did with the graphics was really like old, the old type, and like so old that a lot of movies, pretty much all movies, were no longer doing this. But in this movie, at one point, I noticed how they used, for the graphics, they used stop motion for a certain creature in this movie. And I was like, oh my god, that, I didn't expect that. That's great, that's awesome. Oh yeah. You would see that type of graphics in like very old black and white movies, for like horror movies, the Frankenstein movies, the Dracula movies, the Mummy movies from in the 1930s, that late 1930s, 1940s. You would see that type of thing in those movies. That was considered as great graphics for its time for black and white movies. But you hardly see that nowadays in movies. Even, oh yeah, and so when they do it, it's awesome, because even in this one, it was well done, well thought out as to how to do the stop motion for the graphics for a certain creature. Anyhow, I covered everything. One thing I want to say before I rate this movie, actually two things I want to say before I rate this movie. Another thing came to mind. One thing was, this movie almost did not get done. They had another actor in mind to play the character that Robin Williams did, and I forget which actor it was. I remember hearing about this back in the day when this movie came out. I don't remember the name of the actor, but a different actor was started shooting this movie, and he dropped out at the very last minute, and he was like, "No, this is garbage." Yeah, to him, this was garbage. He wanted nothing to do with it. And then Robin Williams was in the studio one day doing something else, filming something else, and he actually I don't know how, but he saw the script for this movie. He was like, I could see myself doing something like this. And so he asked the directors, producers, and writers, could I try to do this? And they were like, so he did it, and oh my god, he did it great. And reason why they continued with the project of Jumanji, because of Robin Williams. Oh yeah. And the last thing I want to mention is the fact that a lot of people say that, like, the first of the Jumanji movie that came back, a lot of people were calling that a remake, a reboot. It was like, it can't be a remake and it can't be a reboot. I know this because if you actually take the scene at the end of this one and the beginning scene of the 2015 movie of Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, I think, the end scene from this is the beginning scene of that movie. So it's like, it can't be a remake, it can't be a reboot. If anything, it is a sequel. Oh yeah. I don't understand why people seem to think that's a remake or a reboot. It's not. It's not. So that being said, now for my rating. IMDb gives this movie a 7 out of 10. Do I agree with this rating? No, I do not. I do find it is a great classic movie, but while I was watching it, like right before I did this review, I actually I was there was like a few times, not much times, but there was a few times I'm like, okay, it feels just a little bit slow here, feels a little bit slow there, but it wasn't too often. And so for me personally, I would say it is a great movie, classic movie from the 90s, and I would give it an 8 out of 5. An 8 out of 5. If it wasn't for the slowness at the certain parts, I would give it a 9 out of... an 8 out of 5? What? No, an 8 out of 10. If it wasn't for the slowness parts, that, like I just said, it's not too much, but there was a few times. I would give it a 9 out of 10. But because of the slowness at that times, I give it an 8 out of 10. Oh wait, so I want to thank you all for taking time to watch and listen. If you loved this movie or didn't love this movie, you can let me know in the comment section down below. I always love to hear what you think, whether you loved it or hated it. You can also like this video if you like this. If you like this review, you can subscribe to my channel if you love my content. So thank you for taking time to watch, and join me next time for another movie review. I am out.